This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This episode of the 1911 podcast is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network. Here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts who didn't have enough city points to make that away game. For the football fashionistas that wear claret and amber with pride. And for the nostalgia merchants, because nothing beats the history makers. Whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker, win a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season. Simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day, 8am to 8pm. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org. Bradford City begin life in League One with 4 points from their first two games, including an opening day victory against Wycombe Wanderers. Join myself, Andy and Chris as we catch up on the Bantam's first league games and look ahead to the rest of August. This is the 1911 podcast.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of the 1911 podcast. Today we're joined by Ewan and Chris, who have been massive part-timers to start the season.
Yeah, we've all been away.
Wycombe.
Yeah, I've got a season ticket and I wasn't there. I was in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival. I don't know where Chris was. What was your excuse?
So, unfortunately, I was on a stag do, and being a best man, that's not an excuse to miss the stag do. Is the Wycombe game. So, unfortunately, I was in Sheffield, so missed it. Was luckily got updates from Andy about the game and stuff. So, I'm looking forward to next week and finally getting to a game.
Yeah, I'll also be there next week, which is nice. But we apologise for our brief absence.
It's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough from us.
It's not. It's a poor show, boys. Where's the dedication? Where's the commitment? I've had enough of this. You're done.
Right. Well, since you were the only one who was actually able to follow the Wycombe game, how did you think we looked in our first game back in League One?
Do you know what? We looked really good. There were a marked improvement in quality and pace to a game. There was a distinct difference to League One and League Two football, and that was clear to see. I thought we played really well. To be fair, I mean, the new signings looked really well bedded in. Humphreys, he was so tenacious. He was going after absolutely everything, like left and right. We had Nerfville and Touré, and my God, we've got something there. I cannot see them staying for long at this level based on that performance. I thought we handled ourselves really, really well. My only gripes are we got to about 60 minutes and we were blowing. We were really blowing at that point. Graham didn't make any changes. He made one sub all game, and I thought he could have freshened it up a lot sooner with a lot more bodies, because I thought we ended up playing ourselves into trouble because we were so knackered, because we spent a lot of the game without the ball. We were chasing it down. The press was phenomenal. First half, first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, our press was absolutely phenomenal, and we put so much work in. But then after that, we started blowing a bit, and I think changes at that point needed to be made, but there weren't. So yeah, all in all, though, a really solid performance against a Wycombe side that were pushing for autos last season and we're in playoffs. So it bodes well for the season that we can actually stand up to standard that's required for this league. Based on that home performance, you won't be a fool for thinking, hang on a minute, playoffs could be in his reach here.
Yeah, well, you can't really complain about going 2-0 up inside 15 minutes, can you? I mean, we looked really good. Obviously, myself and Chris have only had the benefit of like match reports and things like that, and filtered slightly biased commentary from fans and things like that. But yeah, I mean, everything seemed to be really positive. Obviously, just a great way to start the season. And slight dip then going into the Northampton match. Then could only muster a 0-0 draw.
So you can tell the difference because Wycombe came to Valley Parade to play football. Northampton, they were playing from what I can only describe as League Two quality football, hoofing it and hoping. And it felt like City couldn't deal with that. Like they've set up the tactics and the way they want to play to deal with actual football. So I'd say our style of play suits playing against a team like Wycombe more than playing at Northampton, because yesterday I felt it were a much more poor, bang average performance. I'm not saying we were rubbish, but we were nowhere near as good as we were first week.
Yeah, I think it was a really, really, really difficult game to watch, if I'm honest. I think it was nice to see the new players embedded and kind of getting an idea of those. I was really impressed with Torre in the first half, but I found it a really, really difficult watch. I just thought that they just, like Andy said, they just came to frustrate us, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, I don't have any doubts that they will be going down this season. I think that they are a very, very poor team. And we probably let them. We ended up playing to their style of football, which is what I think we probably should have worked on a little bit harder. And it's interesting, Andy, you mentioned about the fitness as well. I felt like we were a little bit struggling again in the second half with fitness.
I don't think we were struggling as much. I just thought we were off at gas a bit. I mean, first half, when obviously we talked during the game, and you were waxing lyrical about it. And what were I saying? I was saying, this is not even 50% of what it were looking like last week. And you were waxing lyrical. You were really impressed. And then obviously we stepped off even more. And I don't think it's the fact that we're knackered this week. It's just, I think it's right in saying, you're right in saying that we did get sucked into their style of football, which is completely opposite to how we've obviously worked on tactically in training and set up to play football. So the way I see it is, Graham's got us in a position where he's seeing this season as we're going to spend a lot of time without the ball. And rightly, and I think that's a fair cop as well. That's a fair assumption to make. We're in a higher division, so let's work on how we can manage that. We're going in for the press and everything. And yesterday it just felt like we weren't pressing as a unit as well as what we did against Wycombe.
Yeah, almost like we weren't ready for sort of them, like you say, to sit back and hoof it long. You know, we didn't almost want to be in control of the game, which kind of, because it played against maybe what we wanted to do as a team.
Yeah, exactly that. Because when we were playing Wycombe, we let them have the ball. They weren't doing much with it, getting anywhere near our goal really. But the second we turned it over, we broke fast and furiously. But on the flip side, Wycombe actually stepped off us and allowed us that space. Northampton didn't allow us anything.
No, they didn't. You're right, and I do you know what? I completely agree with that. And I'll go back to the point you said about, you know, I was talking about wax lyrical about the team, and I think it was just to see like the wing backs, like Toure, I thought was great. I really like. I've seen him getting a little bit of a stick on Twitter, which I'm really amazed at. But I thought Curtis Tilt had a great game, and I felt that there was a lot of abuse for him yesterday, which I really don't understand personally. I thought he played really well, but the other thing that worries me is going forward. Is the forwards themselves as well. Andy Kawomia said after the game yesterday, he said, "I feel that we need another forward." I think he's right. I know we've got Cookie coming back, but listen, Cookie's getting on, and he's just had a really, really bad injury. I feel that if we're starting to rely on Cookie coming back, that's worrying times, and I just think that we are just a little bit short up there.
I wouldn't say no to another one coming in, but I think Humphreys could be the answer. The way that he's very Cookie-esque in the way that he handles himself. He's so physical, but he's got that bit more pace over what Cookie has. So I think when you've got the likes of Kavanagh back, if you're playing them two on the pitch together at any point, Cav's going to be the man that's running around. And Humphreys is such a unit. He's a strong boy. He doesn't give up either. From what I've seen of him so far, I'm taken with him. I like him a lot. Could we do with another one? Potentially, yeah. I mean, who won't want another striker in club? But are they just going to be bench warmers? I don't know.
Well, I think there's a bit of cat and mouse going on at the moment because everything we've heard about Humphreys coming into the club is do not play him through the middle, play him out wide. That is where you get the best out of him. Do not play him as a lone forward or in the middle of a three. You want him out wide, cutting in to create chances. And throughout his career, that's how he gets his goals. I mean, he almost scored one like that against Wycombe, which led to the Sarcevic header. He was just cutting inside and trying to bend one. But you're right, there was a severe lack of, I wouldn't say chances, because we did create a lot of chances, and you wouldn't have batted an eyelid if we walked away with a 1-0 or a 2-0 win. We did have, Curtis Tilt and Sarcevic hit the post. Max Power had one clear off the line after Sarcevic missed it. Curtis Tilt nearly scored from a bicycle kick as well. To mention that, because that's the highlight of the season so far, is him going for that bicycle kick. But you're absolutely right, there was a bit of a lack of cutting edge. We had 14 shots and only 2 of them on target. And admittedly, that doesn't include the 2 that hit the post. But still, you can definitely see there's a bit of a lack of cutting edge chance creation.
I do want to special mention as well, Tommy Lee. It feels like a new signing.
What a different player he is.
I don't know what's in his water, or whether it's just being the fact that he's actually being played in a natural position for him now. But he's got his head down, and I read, I think it was TNA. Graham had a meeting with him saying, "Look, you need to book up your ideas. You need to start taking it a bit more seriously, because I think it's been a bit of a joker in the squad." And he seems to have knuckled down. And I'll tell you what, compared to last season, it is like a brand new signing. And his set pieces, well, they're beating the first man 90% of the time. So,
which is something we haven't seen for 3 years. Or it's gone too far, sorry. It's gone out of play.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I mean, watching him yesterday, he was the one that I was really looking forward to seeing, if I'm honest. Because, I'd heard about how well he played in the first game. And to see him, he's just a completely different player, and it's exactly what we need. And I mean, listen, plenty of us have said last season about Tommy, and we said that he was being played out of position. He's not that player that goes that far forward, but he is like a new signing, and long may it continue, because he really impressed me. He's just a different player, and it's something that is absolutely great to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. I am also a bit concerned about Brad. He left out the squad completely yesterday. Now, to me, you don't leave a player of the season out of a squad completely unless his bags are packed. And I don't want to be that guy that starts spreading unconfirmed rumours, because I haven't got any in the know knowledge. I'm just saying what I'm seeing from afar. Can't see him getting in team with the players that we've got, and I think he's going to want to be getting minutes under his belt, and I'm not sure that's going to be possible at City.
I think it definitely is possible if Alexander would get rid of this spell that Tyreek Wright seems to have on him, because I really like.
What does
Tyreek.
he bring to the team?
Well, Alexander. We know Alexander loves these versatile players that can play in loads of different positions. Hence the reason Tommy Lee came in last season for questionable, well, not questionable reasons, but it was a strange signing to make, I suppose, at the time. But he is a really versatile player, right? But for example, yesterday would have been a brilliant example had we gone 1-0 up around sort of the 50, 60 minute mark. Nerfville's going to be, like you say, blowing by 70, 80 minutes. Get Halliday on for 15 minutes to see out that game, because that's exactly what he can do. He'll slow down the game, fresh set of legs on at right back, and should we get the chance to counter as well, he's going to be able to do the business up the other end as well. Admittedly, you'd back Nerfville going forward over Halliday, but he's still no slouch. So we're talking about a right back who's been quite a consistent scorer and assister in his time at 4 years at City. So I think we definitely can fit him into the team. Sure, he's not going to be the starting right back, but he can still get minutes. I don't understand why he's not making the bench, or at least coming on in the second half of games to close things out. The real test will be at Blackburn on Tuesday to see if he features or if he's in the side. If Nerfville's starting that one as well, then I think you're right. You'll have to assume that he's packing his bags, and you can see why, because he wants first team football, because he's a really, really good player.
I totally agree, and my issue is I'd much prefer Brad, no disrespect to Tyreek Wright, but I'd much prefer Brad in my matchday team than Wright. He only came on for a short period against Wycombe, but over the last two games, and even into last season, what has he genuinely brought to a game? What you want from a sub, right, is you want a sub to come on and affect the game, whether that's in an attacking sense, in a defensive sense. You want him either to bring stability or you want him to bring that bit of edge to get that goal. He doesn't do either.
I will back him up here and say that in the second half of the Birmingham City Cup game last season, he looked like Neymar. He looked like one of the best players I've ever seen.
I can't. I'm not having that.
You're not having that. No, he was. I mean, not to rub my ticket in your face, but I was there. And you weren't. You were sitting in your armchair at home, listening on the radio, and he can have impact in games. We know that, but yeah, I still think for the position we want to be in, we've already talked about how we're thinking about setting up this season. We want our opposition to have more of the ball, so we can hit them on the break, so we can press high and cause them issues that way. That's not Wright's strong point. He's not. We've been slowly transforming him into a wing back, but it's not his preferred position. He's a winger, not a wing back.
See, he got brought on as a winger, though.
Yeah,
he's being brought on. Every game.
He's being brought on further upfield. He came on for the last 15 minutes against Northampton as well for Poynton, so he's starting to be played further up. But he didn't affect the game. But this comes back to the point about playing Humphreys out wide again. That is the space in the team for another winger. If, for example, if Cook is coming back soon, which I'd like to think he is, then Humphreys presumably goes out wide, and then there's a whole new set of questions about what happens to Sarcevic, who didn't have a particularly good game yesterday either, because you want to keep Poynton in that team, but.
Poynton didn't have a good game.
And I agree with that. Poynton didn't have a good game yesterday. There's so many questions that we have from having such a stacked squad that will be answered, I think, by either Cook's return or Halliday leaving. Or this, you got to remember, there's still a lot of time in the transfer window left.
Well, yeah, for me, you're looking at a couple on the bike going. I think Coutoir's going. I don't think there's a space for him in this team. I don't think he's got enough about him.
Tyler Smith's still here.
I don't know how. I do not know how. And like I say, with a Brad thing, I don't want him to go. I love the man to bits, and it says everything when he's a player of the season for us. You know what I mean? But
I think the writing was on the wall though when we brought in Northville, if I'm absolutely honest, because I knew as soon as we made that signing that Brad wasn't getting in that team. You know, and I think unfortunately, we probably are moving on from Brad. And again, I'm with you, Andy. There's a lot of love for Brad Halliday. You know, he's hardly put a foot wrong for us at all. I just don't know I just don't see where he's going to be fitted in. I just don't see it. I don't think Alexander does either. Obviously, he's got this feeling about Tyreek, which, you know, I'll go with it. If it works out, it works. But I think the really important question that we will find out is certainly on Tuesday against Blackburn. I think that we'll see some changes, and we'll probably see a fairly, you know, some of the players that haven't been in that first 11 coming through and seeing what they can do.
I think the case with Brad is Alexander's love for the likes of Wright is he's wanting more of an attacking mentality in the team, and I think Brad's more it's not old school, but it is in this day and age old school fullback rather than an attacking back. You look at Northampton and Toure, they are such attacking players. They're two totally different people, two totally different sorts of players. Is a Halliday and a Northampton or a Toure. It's opposite ends of the spectrum, isn't it? And Tyreek kind of falls into that sort of attacking mentality sort of player that we're obviously looking to employ down the wings. Whereas Brad has shown he can do it. Does he have the legs to do it all game on a regular basis? And it's not his natural style of football. I think that's the issue that we might be seeing come out here.
I mean, I disagree with that because Halliday's been the best wing back in League Two for like 3 years in a row, pretty much consistently in terms of his performance. He's been one of our best players over the last few seasons, and he definitely can fit into this system. We absolutely know he can, but I get the idea that Alexander wants more attacking-minded wing-backs. Halliday is by no means a defensive-style full-back. He's an all-rounder who's going to hug the touchline and play both sides, defence and attack. Northampton is obviously way better going forward. He's got a better output and he's quicker as well. But Halliday's by no means too bad to play for Bradford.
I don't think he's too bad at all. What my point is player like Brad fitting into Alexander's vision for this league in this season. That's that. I've got nothing against Brad. I'd love to keep him, and I love seeing him on the pitch. But does his style and his natural sort of like aptitude in the position differ from that of what the core of the management want?
No, I don't think he differs from what the management want. I think the difference is, and the only difference is that we've already mentioned how we want to play this season. It looks like we're going to be quite safe and look to press high and hit teams on the counter when we can. So all of that is about transitions, is about moving between those two states. Halliday is quick, but Northville is quicker. And that's the big thing, I think, for Alexander, is that if we're going to play on the transition like this, we're going to hit teams on the counter, then which player do I want, a fast player or a faster player? And he's going to pick the faster player every time.
Yeah, Northville against Wycombe, he had the defenders terrified. Like, his pace to beat a man. He can knock it 15 yards in front of him and he's beating anyone. He was terrified. The boy's not going to be, if we don't go up in the next season or two, he won't be with us for very long. because he is steps above League One football.
It was the same yesterday as well, where we would knock the ball long to him, and I was thinking, what are we doing? And he'd get on the end of it. He'd absolutely hammered the opposition for pace. What a player he is, honestly. I mean, I'm so glad that we've managed to get a player like that on our hands. And unfortunately for Brad, I think that's exactly why, he's not getting in the team. And I guess it's all down to him really now, whether he wants to have that competition and fight for his place or whether he leaves. And I think it probably will be the latter.
This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details.
This episode of the 1911 podcast is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network, here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts who didn't have enough city points to make that away game. For the football fashionistas that wear claret and amber with pride. And for the nostalgia merchants, because nothing beats the history makers. Whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker, win a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season. Simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day, 8am to 8pm. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org. So, coming into the first two games of the season, we've had Wycombe and Northampton, one home, one away. Would you have taken 4 points, or are you looking at these two thinking we really should have had all three against Northampton yesterday?
We should have had all three. That's by the by. But let's take a step back from an individual game by game basis here. Let's have a bit of perspective. We've just been promoted, and we're in a new division that we haven't been in for 8 years. The standard of football is markedly improved. And we've got, is it 7 or 8 new signings on the books that we're trying to gel into a team. I know we took them to Austria and all that good stuff, but so we're still kind of coming together. 4 points from your first 2 games in the division next up higher, for me, and I think any sane Bradford fan would have snapped your hands off. But like I say, that's not me saying I think we should have taken 3 points off Northampton yesterday. But 4 points? Yeah, I'm happy as a kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah, I think one comment I did see on X, formerly known as Twitter, was that we will probably, yes, it's really good we've taken 4 points, but after the next 2 games in the league, so we've got obviously Luton coming up, and then we've got Stockport away. There's a chance we could lose both of those, and then you're looking at 4 points from the possible 12. Does that sort of mindset kick in at some point? To think, oh well, maybe we really should have taken points from Northampton considering what we've got coming up, or is it still just so early in the season to say anything like that?
I completely agree. Again, I think we should have beaten Northampton. I think that's the kind of game we should have won. We have got such an awful run in the next few weeks. There's also Towner in there as well. We've got to play in September as well. But I think like Luton and Stockport are going to be real big tests. I mean, I think we've got to look at this realistically, and it's something that I've said since the beginning, is that first port of call is to stay up. That's the first thing that we need to do this season. I don't doubt that we will. I think that we will stay up. I do believe that we will stay up, but let's be realistic here. Let's get the points on the board and make sure that this team stays up in League One, and then we can obviously assess that. I think we're still learning. I think we're still not sure which is the real Bradford City. Hopefully, it was the one against Wycombe. Also, by the way, lost at home yesterday as well, so they've lost both games. Granted, they did play Stockport. So it's kind of, I think we've got to be realistic, but Luton is going to be a massive, massive challenge on Saturday. We will probably start to learn a bit more about the team and what they've got. We haven't gone behind yet, so we don't know what that's going to look like when we go behind. And it's early days yet, chaps, and I think we've just got to be realistic and we'll see what happens and see bring every game by game basis and see what happens from there.
I mean, if we take 4 points from us next two, I'd see that as a success.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We'll come on to. We're going to do the roundup in just a second of the sort of the 2 weeks that we've missed of all the fixtures, but I don't know what to expect from Luton because they haven't actually played anyone good yet in my eyes. They played Wimbledon on the opening night, and they played a Peterborough side who, at the moment, look a bit all at sea. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the sort of highlights from the last game, but they at home on Saturday they didn't look very good. We'll have to see what Luton bring. Coming down from the Championship, readjusting to life in League One, it could be quite tricky.
But I just look at Luton's team and look at how much money they've spent. The fact that they had 30 million quid from parachute payments, and I've mentioned that before, but the fact that. But I think if we were to get 4 points in the next 2 games, I'd be absolutely buzzing. I would be absolutely buzzing if we could do that. I don't think we can.
I mean, would it be such a bad thing if we took 1 point? Genuinely, when you look at numero uno aim is to stay up this season.
Yeah.
Would a point between Luton and Stockport be success? Would that look? Is that what a bit of success looks like, or are we missing the mark a bit there?
I think we'll only know once we come out of that Luton game, like you say, because of the standard of the league, where we'll start to learn more about what we've got ourselves into here, sort of thing. We don't really know what to expect so far. The Wycombe game might have been a bit of a false sunrise in the sense that we looked really, really good, but that is just one game, and obviously Wycombe were missing Kone for that match. So
the thing is, it just looked like we would carry on our form from home form from last season. To be fair, the standard were improved, but I think there's still that Fortress Valley Parade sort of mentality that we've got going for us at the moment, which I think if we can continue to harness, like Luton, I'm not sure they're going to bring many up to Valley Parade. You're going against them, make it as loud and intimidating as possible. And you never know. Valley Parade, we've been so successful there over the last 12 to 18 months. I think that ball keeps rolling. It's this away form. We need to start turning these draws into wins.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I felt like yesterday was feeling a bit like away last season again. It was, but you're absolutely right. We have to make Valley Parade a fortress again. We have to make sure that every team who come to Valley Parade this season, that they're uneasy, they're uncomfortable. We need to be getting on top and making sure that, we are, the 12th player for the 12th man for City. And I'm sure that with the way that the club has changed, as we've talked about before, the fans have re-engaged. I feel that there is that positivity now that we've been waiting for so long. I think that teams will fear coming to us. So, if we could get onto Luton straight away, I think there's a good chance, we could get some points out of that.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, You can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
Right, so as is customary, over to Ewan with the classified results.
So like we said, we've missed 2 weeks really of football because we didn't put an episode out for the first week because no one was here. But on the opening night, we had, obviously we've already mentioned Luton playing Wimbledon, which was a bit of a damp squib for an opener, with Luton getting a 1-0 win. But we're not going to go through every result, but I do want to draw attention to a few in sort of the table position.
Before you do, can I give you a stat?
Go on then.
So the opening weekend was the first time, on the Saturday, it was the first time, I think, in like 8 years or something, there wasn't a single draw on a Saturday afternoon kickoff. There you go.
I think I did see that, but I didn't realise how long it had been, sort of thing. I clocked
Yeah,
it
it's
that,
some
like,
time.
I clocked it that, like, that we haven't had any sort of any sort of draws, sort of thing.
Anyway, back to the classified results for Ewan.
You cut me off, but it's what I did want to draw attention to is some teams that we sort of thought, they're going to do quite well here, are still waiting to register a point. Most notably, Blackpool, Plymouth, Peterborough, Wycombe, and Mansfield to a certain extent as well, and Reading as well, still waiting to pick up their first points of the season. Again, a very, very early doors, but something to keep an eye on. Interesting to see as well that some of your favourites like Huddersfield and Stockport, 2 wins out of 2. Same for Luton. Doncaster as well, getting the elusive 2 out of 2 so far as well. And 4 points out of the possible 6 for us is a pretty good start. Puts us on par with some of the teams you'd expect to be dotting around the playoffs, like Cardiff and Bolton. So I think it's very good. There's nothing else really to draw attention to, because last season, obviously, it was important to go through the results because we were in this promotion fight. But I think I can't be arsed going through all these scores.
Yeah, I think Blackpool's the big shock, isn't it? I don't know if it's because they've got so many new players. Did they lose 4-1 yesterday?
Yeah, they lost 4-1 away to Exeter yesterday.
I mean,
and then on the opening weekend, lost 3-2 to Stevenage. So, again, those are games you'd expect them to win. But, again, you never know when you bring in all these players. They were much like us. They did all their business quite early, made some good signings, and, yeah, maybe it just hasn't worked out quite yet. I can imagine they will turn it around. Stockport, it is worth noting, first game beat Bolton, and then beat Wycombe yesterday. Those are on paper was quite a tough start to the season, but they've come through that with flying colours. I can only imagine that will be quite a thrashing for City when we go there. But we'll move on. Our Tuesday night cup game against Blackburn. We've already sort of covered this slightly with alluding to Halliday and the.
I'd rather not play it and just focus on league, to be honest. Like 90 minutes gives people chances to get injured. I don't like it. So for me, honestly, I'm not asked. Like, genuine, don't get me wrong, if there's a cup run and we end up in Wembley again, I'll be there. But right now, couldn't give a toss.
I think I'm a little bit more positive about it, because like I say, I'd like to see some of maybe like Will Swan getting a full game, full 90 minutes. Some of the other players just to see how they do. Maybe get Metcalf in there as well, give him an opportunity. So I would quite like to see some of those players coming through and seeing what they're about as well, really, which is and see whether they are as good as what we thought they were. I mean, Metcalf is someone I am very excited about, and hopefully if he can get in the team on Tuesday, I assume it'll be a bit of a weakened team. I think it'll be a bit of a second string. Although there's, I think we pretty much sold out as well for Ewood Park as well for the fans.
I don't know what allocation they gave us, because they'll have given us all of the. Is it the Darwin end? I cannot remember what end it is. Apologies for my terrible ground knowledge. But we won't have sold out all that because that stand holds like 7,000. Last I checked, I think it was somewhere near 2,000, so I suspect it'll be under 2,500, but still a really good following for a cup game early on in the season. We're still in August, people are still away, so
Yeah, I think it's 3,000 we've got.
that would be very impressive. I will fact check that at some point, or there's probably someone listening to this fact checking that right now. But if you're going down there, enjoy. I'm going down there, so it's going to be a good game. And then looking forward to Luton at home in the coming Saturday. Could be quite a good game.
Return of the Naki. Yeah, we've touched on it. It's going to be a tough ask. It's going to give us a lot more of a signpost to where we're at, what potentially we need to improve. We go into it, and I think we'll approach it the same way we approached the Wycombe game. Allow them to have the ball and work hard. And if we have the same work rate as we had against Wycombe, plus some subs actually made rather than just one sub when you've got 5 available to you, who knows? Who knows? Our defence is looking pretty solid. Yes. Considering we're playing with a brand new defence. I mean, Baldwin might come back into the fold. The boys that are in there, they're a brand new defence, and they've played like they've been playing together for a long time. So defensively, as long as we keep a shape and we don't overcommit on press, I wouldn't want to call it, because we're all very aware that it's probably going to be one of the toughest games of the season. So I wouldn't like to call it either way. But I feel like our defence could probably stand up to anything in this league.
I'd throw Curtis Tilt in front of a bus, and I think the bus would fare worse than he would. But I am going to ask you, actually. You said you didn't want to give a prediction, but I'm going to ask you to anyway, because it's my podcast now. So starting with the Blackburn game, I know you said you didn't care. Would you dare give a prediction on the game you don't care about?
I think we'll lose, to be honest, to Blackburn. Like I said, I wouldn't be upset by it. It's a 90-minute run out. Hopefully, with no disrespect meant, it's for a second-string City side to get them some minutes under the belt. As long as everybody gets through it safe and sound, so we're not adding to his injury lists, then I'd be happy even if we lose. As long as we don't give an absolute dire account of ourselves and we play with a bit of pride, I'm not going to be complaining. I'll go 1-0 Blackburn.
Chris, dare to give anything more bold than 1-0 Blackburn?
I'm thinking the same way. I don't like this podcast because I'm agreeing Vandy far too much so far. This is really bizarre, and I'm kind of with Andy. I think maybe 2-0 to Blackburn.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, admittedly, of as long as everyone gets through it without any cuts and bruises and no one gets their ACL torn, I think it will be a fine result, whoever wins. I reckon I'll go out on a limb and make a proper bet and say that we'll play really, really well and defend really, really well for 90 minutes. It'll go to penalties and we'll lose. And we'll go, well, that was really annoying, but we'll move on with our lives. And then
I wonder what the odds are on that. Is it worth a cheeky tenner?
Well, probably not for me. No, my luck. Since I'm going on Tuesday, we'll probably lose 6-0. Luton at home then, you've already mentioned about how we might give them a lot of a ball, but we're going to be up for it. The crowd's going to be up for it. We're going to press high. Can you see us getting a win?
I can see us getting a draw. I'm thinking maybe a 2-2 draw. There's goals to be had against Luton if we play it right, but they've got a strong, formidable squad as well. And I know I was saying about our defence being up there. There's only so much you can do. And I think they've got goals in them as well. So I think a 2-2, 1-1 sort will be a fair result.
I can't be doing with you today, honestly. I've got 1-1 in my head. I've got 1-1. I'm definitely going with 1-1. I think we can get a draw against them. It's going to be a very difficult game, and 1-1 will suit me.
I think we could win it. I'm gonna be the positive one because Andy let me down. I was fully expecting, we're gonna thrash them like 4-0 and everything's gonna be lovely and rosy. But
I thought I'd take a leaf out of your fence book, and
it's
quite comfy on here.
Yeah, it is quite comfy on the fence. You see why I sit there now, don't you? I think I already kind of mentioned this, but Luton have played a poor Wimbledon side who didn't offer anything, and they didn't offer anything as well. They won the game through a quite comedic own goal, and then did any of you see the highlights from that Peterborough match where they're trying to play out from the back against Luton, and the Luton striker basically just walks up and kicks the ball into the net because the keeper's like dawdling about with it. But if that's the sort of teams Luton have played so far, then we could give them a run for the money. I'm going to say 2-1 City.
Ooh, look at Mr. Positive over here.
Mr. Positive, yeah. I've clearly had something in my morning coffee to give me a bit of a impetus to not sit on the fence. But
no, I'm going for a draw. I'd be happy with a draw, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, really looking forward to getting back to VP as well. And yeah, I just think that they've just got maybe too much quality. I mean, their team is ridiculous. So I just want to see what happens, and hopefully Naki has a very, very quiet game, which would be very pleasing indeed.
Pennington's going to put him into the Midland Road stand 5 minutes into the game. I'm calling it.
That's a question, right? Because I'm not a fan of when a returning player comes, everyone, hey! I'm not a fan of that. If you're coming in a different coloured shirt, you're the enemy during that 90 minutes. Give the boy all the respect he's due for the 2013 and when he was in our team. Give him all the respect he's due there, not a problem. But the second he steps on that field in Luton Town's kit, do you think we should be giving him a round of applause? Or do you reckon, I'm not saying hurl dog's abuse at him, but we should be putting the pressure on, booing him, whatever, in my opinion. He's much loved, and it's going to split people, is this sort of opinion. And I've got as much love for him as the next guy, but I think I can't abide by this standing up and clapping players that are in a different kit.
Well, I don't think we'll be booing him, but I definitely don't think we're not the type of fan base to be standing up and applauding every time he gets the ball at his feet, sort of thing. So I totally agree with you on the mindset of if his name's going to get read out on the team sheet, yeah, give him a standing ovation. He'll probably clap the ground sort of whilst just before kickoff while they're doing the stretches on the pitch, sort of thing. And yeah, but once that whistle blows, yeah, it's game on, and it's just another player in another shirt. And we want to win the game, and so do they. So why would we be soft?
Well, let's remember who he left us for, eh? Let's remember that. Whether that was his doing or not doing, which there is, I'd heard certainly from inside the club that it was possibly potentially pushed out of the club. However, he did sign for them, so. I was, in fact, I hate to say this, but I was at a Libertines gig I don't hate that bit, but I was at a Libertines gig on Friday, and I got talking with a Town fan, and they were saying that they absolutely loved him at Town, and I thought he didn't do that great, but they absolutely loved him. So, yeah, he won't be getting any cheers from me. He won't be getting any claps from me. I'm not interested. Once he's playing, as Andy says, again, agreeing with Andy again. He's playing for a different club. I'm not interested. That's him gone.
Well, so that was a different roundup tonight. We missed last week's, obviously, because you two decided to become part-timers. Absolute waste of space. Fine 2 weeks' wages, and we'll wrap it up there. We'll let you get over yourselves, and we'll come back again next week. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
And hopefully have 2 wins.
Lovely stuff, boys. Thanks for your time tonight,
Thank you very much.
I'll see you for the next one.
This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details. This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
Talk Sport. Powered by fans.